Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today's video, as you can probably tell from the title and the thumbnail, is going to be choosing my July TBR using my TBR jar. I've been filming these for the past couple of months and I really enjoy filming them. They're not the best viewed videos on my channel, but I just really enjoy filming them. I've been having a lot of fun with this, kind of just helping me get through my physical TBR, which is here. I do also have my Kindle in case I want to read a book on my Kindle, because I do like to try fit in one Kindle book a month. So basically what I'm just going to do is go through my prompt jar, pick out a prompt and pick a book relating to the prompt to read in the month of July. Before we get into picking prompts, first things first, we are currently in the middle of a heat wave here in the UK and it's very warm in this room, so I'm going to try and keep it quick. And also I've got the windows open because I had to turn the fan off because it was too noisy, so if you can hear outside noise, I apologise. And if I look a bit dishevelled, that is why, because it is absolutely boiling. And then the second thing is I just wanted to update you on how I did with my June TBR. At this point of filming, it is the 27th of June. I've actually only finished 2 books on my June TBR and then I'm partway through the 3rd book. I'm pretty sure I will finish book number 3. I'm basically just past halfway through East of Eden, so although it doesn't seem like I've read a lot this month, like East of Eden is quite a chunky book, so that is probably like the equivalent of 3 books that I've read, and I think I will be able to finish that before the end of the month. I've just got 2 books that I probably won't get to. One of them I'm going to put back on my TBR because I do want to get back when I get to it. I might like read that in July anyway. We'll see what books I pick and like how much I've got to read in July. But yeah, without further ado, we're just gonna get on into picking prompts. Yeah, this month I don't really have any like full set ideas of what I want to read. I have a couple of ideas of things that I'd like to get to in summer, so I'm definitely probably going to be gravitating towards those. I will say the ones on the bottom are more like autumn winter in my mind, so these ones I probably won't pick from. It probably will be all the ones on the top. I'm not really in the mood for any specific thing. I think like just a nice mix of genres and some books to get into, because I've just been really into reading at the moment, so it would just be nice to pick some books that I can hopefully get through like all 5 of them, so we will see. But yeah, okay, let's go with this one. Oh, it's a thick one. I don't know on that side. A book with trees or flowers on the cover. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna have quite a few options, so let me just go through and see. Okay, I've picked 3 here. You've probably heard me talk about, I think I've mentioned pretty much all these books in the last few TBR jar videos, so I feel like this is going to work well. First of all, we have Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. I did almost pick this for June, but I didn't. And this, I believe, is the story of a woman telling her 3 grown daughters about a love that she had when she was younger with a famous man. Just sounds really interesting. I've not read any Ann Patchett before. And I've heard a lot about Tom Lake, so that's one of them. Then we have You and Me on Vacation, although this is have kind of like cartoon trees. This is an Emily Henry romance. I believe it's friends to lovers, about friends who go on holidays over the years and gradually probably fall in love. Yeah, I've never read any Emily Henry, so to be honest with you, I kind of want to read all 3 of these this month. So and then the other one is Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall, which is about a woman and like 2 loves, a previous love and a current love, and then there's also like a trial for murder going on. Honestly, I would like to read all of these in summer, so they're all good options. But I think we're going to go with Tom Lake by Ann Patchett because I do really want to get to this. And I did almost pick it for June. And I think I said in my June one, if I didn't read it in June, I'd really love to read it in July. Like I say, I believe it's the story of a woman telling her children about a love, a past love that she had. And I think it's set in spring. But yeah, I just think it sounds really interesting. It sounds very up my alley. I think it's like general fiction, obviously with a bit of romance. But then also I'm hoping there's going to be like some family dynamics in there. It sounds very up my alley. And it's got like little daisies on the cover, so I think that's really cute. So yeah, this is going to be my first book for July, which I'm going to be happy with. But if we can get the other 2 also on this list, I wouldn't be mad at that. Okay. Prompt number 2. We're going to go, ooh. What am I going to go for? I'm going to go, oh, that one fell out. I feel like we should do that. Nah. Okay, come on, let's just do this one. Oh, a book which continues a series. Okay, I'm actually not in the middle of that many series at the moment. We do have Iron Flame, but I just don't want to read that right now. Okay, so I've got a couple of ideas. Like I said, I'm not in the middle of that many series other than really Iron Flame. I've got a couple of like beginning of series, but I don't know if that's a continuation. I do have Heart the Lover. I did read Writers and Lovers in June and I really, really loved it. And this is a interconnected, so it's not really a series, and this is technically a prequel, I think. But yeah, I feel like this follows the same main character but when she's in college, but I could be wrong, I don't really know. So this has kind of been on my radar. I've heard a lot more of this, about good things about this one than Writers and Lovers, but I really, really loved Writers and Lovers, so that gives me high hopes for this. And it is only a little short book. Or we could, if I'd read Court of Thorn and Roses, I could pick like the second book in that series, but I don't know if that's cheating because I've technically not read this yet. Although I could put this and then the second one on my list, but is that a bit ambitious? I don't know if that's kind of cheating. And then my other idea, which is a bit of a chunky book, is The Story of a New Name by Elena Ferrante. I read My Brilliant Friend, which is the first book in the series, the Neapolitan novels. I believe there's 4 in total. I read the first one as part of book club back in January and I really, really enjoyed it, and I have wanted to continue the series, and I feel like summer would be a really good time to continue because it is set in Italy. Although this is like another general fiction, so I don't know, is that too similar? And it is also chunky. Like how many pages? 400 and something. No, you know what, I think I am going to go with this because I feel like that's more true to the prompt, because I feel like this is an interconnected, but it's not really a series, if that makes sense. Although I would like to read Heart and Love at some point. And then I feel like if I pick this in book 2, that's a bit ambitious and also kind of cheating because I haven't read this yet. So I don't even know if I want to continue the series yet. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with The Story of a New Name because, like I say, I think it'll be a good book for summer. It is a bit chunky, but like the font is quite big. And I got through My Brilliant Friend quite quickly and easily. Also, I bought this second hand and like it's got like all these tabs in, which I love. And like postcards and stuff. So I bought it when we went to Hay-on-Wye because I want to like continue the series, and I feel like it's good to do it whilst the first one is still fresh on my mind. So that's going to be the second book for my July TBR. Let's go with this one. That's nice. A book with a title that is 4 words or more. I've probably got a few, but I'm just going to pick the ones that I'm interested in rather than all the ones on my list. Okay, I picked 3 out. I think I know what I'm going to go for. We have Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which is Japanese fiction. This has been on my list to read for ages. However, I don't feel like it's particularly a book that I have to read in summer. So it's not like a high priority, although I should pick this up at some point because this has been on my list forever, but I just don't know if I'm feeling it right now. Then we have So Thrilled for You by Holly Bourne, which has been on my list. I really want to read this. It's about a friend group who are all in their like, I think they're all around 30, and it's all about like the different stages of all these friend groups and like the complexities of Nikki, Lauren, Charlotte and Steffi have been friends since university. Now in their 30s, life is pulling them in different directions and motherhood is at the forefront of their minds. But when Charlotte organises a baby shower for Nikki on a swelteringly hot summer's day, ooh, it changes their friendship group forever. In the aftermath, each woman has a different view on what happened, but the truth will shock everyone, even you. I didn't know it was on a hot summer's day. But I feel like I've already got 2 like general fictions and 1 is about friendship, The Story of a New Name. So I feel like that's not my list. I think what I'm going to go for and what I just need to get around to is You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry, and this has been on my list forever. I've talked about this in multiple TBR videos and multiple book videos, so yeah. And I think it would be nice to add a nice summer romance to the list and just start my Emily Henry journey. I'm intrigued to see what I think of her writing because I feel like it's going to be romance but with a little bit more to it, which is my kind of romance. So I think it's just going to be nice to have a little bit of a summer romance on this list. So yeah, that's going to be book number 3. Okay, I'm happy with this TBR so far. I kind of like to write do prompts that like gives me choices, so like I don't feel like I'm stuck to reading 1 book. Let's go with this one. What does that say? A book about friendship. We were just talking about this. Okay, obviously we could do So Thrilled for You again. These are the three that are jumping out at me, and I think I know which one I want to choose, but we'll go through it. So we have So Thrilled for You by Holly Bourne, which I do want to read, but I think it's a bit similar, so we'll see. I do also have My Friends by Frederick Bachman, which I believe is about a woman who follows dual timelines. I feel like 25 years ago, a group of teenagers found solace in each other during one unforgettable summer. Their friendship inspired a transcendent work of art, a painting that now mysteriously belongs to 18-year-old aspiring artist Louisa. Driven to learn the story behind its creation, Louisa embarks on a journey to the seaside town where it all began, but as she gets closer to the painting's birthplace, Louisa learns that happy endings do not always take the form we expect. Well, I feel like these are all good choices, but yeah, I love Frederick Bachman. I've read A Man Called Ove and Beartown, and I love both of those, so I know I love his writing. Again, another general fiction. What can I say? I love a general fiction. And then we have this, which is Waist Deep, which has been on my list since last year, and this is translated fiction. I believe it's, yeah, the writer's Danish. 5 friends from university, 7 summer days in a lakeside cabin in Denmark, a chance to swim, sunbathe, flirt, read and recreate the magic of their youth. At least that's what Sylvia had hoped, but when her friends arrive with real jobs, kids and partners, worst Esben, her decades-long crush, and Karen announce their plan to get married at the end of the week. As desire and anxiety swirl and the wedding day approaches, will the group achieve their Arcadian dreams, or will everything come tumbling down? I don't really know much about this, but I think it's like slightly a bit of a weird girl fiction book and gets a little bit more unhinged. Yeah, I saw about this last year on Goodreads. I think it came recommended, and it just sounds very up my alley. It's also quite short. It's like just over 200 pages. I think I'm going to put this one on the TBR, if I'm honest. I think it's just going to be slightly different to the other ones because, like I say, I've already got like 2 general fictions, and I feel like it's just getting a bit samey, so I feel like putting Waist Deep on there is going to be just something to switch it up a little bit. Oh my god, that's 4 books. Okay, we're on to our 5th and final book. What's it gonna be? I'm quite happy with how this is shaping up so far. Okay, let's go for this one. Oh, that's quite a chunky one. A book on my seasonal TBR. Oh my, yes. Okay, I feel like basically all the ones that I've already mentioned in this video are all on my summer TBR, so it's about what I want to go for. I'm not going to pick them all out again because I feel like I've spoken about all the books before. I'm just kind of thinking like about my current list and what I want to add to that, what I think will be a nice addition, because I feel like we've got some like similar themes. Okay, yeah, I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to go with Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. Yeah, Beth was 17 when she first met Gabriel, then he left and it was Frank who picked up the pieces, but when Gabriel comes back years later, their connection is instant. People in the village said nothing good would come of Gabriel's return, and as Beth looks at the man she loves on trial for murder, she can't help thinking they were right. I feel like we've gone for a similar theme with all these books, but this has definitely been on my summer TBR, and I feel like we've still got August for like summer books, so like the other ones can hopefully go on my summer TBR. But I think, yeah, I just want to go with Broken Country. I've heard a lot about this recently. I'm really intrigued, and I think it's going to be quite an emotional book, and I think it's just something a little bit different. We're going to go for Broken Country, and I'm really happy with it. And I think with these 5, I might get through these quite quickly. I think Elena Ferrante is probably going to take me the longest just because it's a bit of a chunky book, so I think I could probably carry over A Court of Thorn and Roses quite easily into my July reading, and that will add just something a little bit different, a little bit of romantasy, because I would like to get to this soon, so I think I can quite easily carry that over to my July TBR. But yeah, they are all the 5 books I've chosen. Sitting here, it is making me want to pick a 6th, because like just going through all these books, I'm really intrigued by a few of them. But yeah, I'm going to stick with 5 and just be realistic, and like I said, then if I have like any extra space for reading other books, I can always pick off this list or pick up A Court of Thorn and Roses, or even book 2 if I'm really that ambitious. But yeah, let's just run through the TBR. Okay, so for a book with trees or flowers on the cover, we went with Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. Really excited about this. Sounds very up my alley. I'm really intrigued by Anne Patchett. I believe she's just had a new book come out called Whistler, which I've heard really good things about as well. So I'm really excited to read this, and it's been on my list for quite a while. So yeah, very happy to be picking this up. Okay, and then for a book that continues a series, I've gone for Elena Ferrante, The Story of a New Name. Without giving too much away, the first book follows two friends who are growing up together in Italy, Elena and Lila, and it starts with them in childhood, follows them through their like childhood into teenagehood as they start as they become really good friends, and then they start like growing in different directions, and you can see that they're gonna lead different lives and be taken away from each other. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil book one and how book one ended, but I'm really intrigued to see how the story continues. I really enjoyed the first one, and I feel like this is just, I've heard really good things actually about this one. I feel like this is a lot of people's favourites, is book two, so I'm really excited for that. So that is Elena Ferrante, The Story of a New Name. A book with a title that is 4 words or more, I've gone with You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. Just a good summer romance read, I'm hoping. I'm really excited to get into Emily Henry and just see what I think of her writing. I do also have Book Lovers on my TBR, but I think I'm interested in reading all of hers. I've heard really good things about most of her books. I love a friends to lovers trope, so yeah, I think this is going to be a nice summer romance, but I feel like this is going to be her romance is going to be like a little bit more meaty to them. I feel like I like a romance when there's a little bit more to it. I think it's more like a fiction romance rather than like a straight up romance, but we will see. And yeah, just going to be a nice fun romance read for the TBR for July. Okay, and then for book number 4, a book about friendship, I've gone with Waist Deep. Really excited for this, a translated fiction. It's quite a short book. I don't really know much about this book. I like to try to go into books as blind as possible, so I don't really know where this is going to go, but I'm really excited. Evocative and enjoyable page turner. It just sounds like interesting. A beautiful and sensuous book, trembles and flashes with hot emotion, confusion and pangs of longing. Sounds great for summer, so I'm very excited for that. If we have another heat wave here in the UK, I'm definitely going to be reading this throughout the heat wave, and I think it's going to be a nice, quick, easy read. Okay, and then for my 5th and final book, a book on my seasonal TBR, I've gone for Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. I don't actually know if this is even set in summer, but I just really wanted to read it this season, and I'm really excited to get into this and see what I think. Again, I don't know a lot about this. It follows a woman and a previous love and her current husband, and there's also like a trial for murder going on in the background, so yeah, I'm excited to read this. And that is my July TBR. I'm really excited to get through these books. That's a really lovely summery colour palette. And then, like I say, if I do get through all of these, I will pick up A Court of Thorns and Roses as a carryover from June, because I don't want to just forget this book, and I think this will be like a nice addition, a bit of a romantasy, but we will see. But yeah, nice summery colour palette. I think that's a nice mix of like romance, a good selection of general fiction. I'm actually really happy with that. So that is it for this video. Really happy with my July TBR, and I'd love to hear down below what you are planning on reading in the month of July. If you do enjoy this video, I'd love it if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and I will see you all next week for a brand new one. Goodbye.